Okay, I've just started doing the engine. It's quite basic to put together. There are quite a lot of parts to it though. Follow the Airfix instructions, you just assemble these bits here. You can't get it wrong, but you do have quite a lot of cleanup on the bits when you take them off the sprues. There's lots of pegs and stuff stuck all over the place, and you have to clean up all the bits of flash and things. So basically this part here, combined with that part and that part, is this assembly here. Now I'm quite happy to paint all that. It's showing it as 53. I'm not sure what colour code 53 is, but I don't care what colour code it is. I'm going to paint that matte black or something similar, and then I'm going to treat it with something else to make it look a little bit more metallic-y. Now you build that part, and then it basically plugs in there. It'll only go one way up. There's two exhaust ports at the bottom. Where is it? Where are they now? Well, they're at the bottom there somewhere. Anyway, it goes that way up, that little peg at the bottom. And it'll only go that way. Well, it will go a different way in. Let's have a look. So yeah, it's just that peg there goes to the bottom of the fuselage. It just plugs into there. And you can't put the cylinders on without it being in there first, because they won't clear these little fairing pieces. So each cylinder's got to be built, and that's on a sprue. You've got all the cylinders there, and it shows you which ones you're making up. So there's 54, and they're all made of the same part numbers, and you make up a bunch of them, and you fit them when you fit them into the cylinder into here, this has got to be dry. These two halves have got to be dry. And when you fit them, you've got to kind of hinge the cylinder forward like that. And just push it. It's not dry in this one, but it kind of pushes down and then in. You see what I mean? And it kind of clicks into place. But you can't put all those cylinders on there and then fit this unit into there, because they simply will not fit. So these cylinders have got to be fitted afterwards. I think it's showing on the instructions again. I don't follow Airfix colour instructions, because I don't use Humbrol paints. I think it's Humbrol paints, or whatever Airfix recommend. I always use Tamiya stuff, so I have to convert them. But it's either gunmetal, silver or black, it's stating. And I'm not quite sure if I want to paint these silver yet, or if I want to paint them black. The original ones, from what I can gather, the original ones were all black, basically. Any modern engine, well, not a modern engine, any engine in an aircraft that still exists now, you tend to see them more silvery. So I don't like painting silver engines, because they don't look silver to me. They look like painted in plastic. I know they don't, but I'm picky like that. So if I can get away with not using silver paint, I will. So I'm going to paint mine black, because some of them were. Then you've got this part at the front, which is the exhaust shroud that goes over the whole shooting match. That fits over there like that, and that mates up with the cylinders as well. Now that's Airfix have stated that to look like a coppery bronze colour. I haven't seen one in original that look anything like the colour that Airfix say it is. It certainly isn't brightly coloured. It has a subtle hint of maybe a rusty colour to it or something like that. So again, this is going to get painted black, and then it's going to be treated to make it look a little bit more not black, if you like. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this, that'll get painted. I don't know if you see it on camera. If you look, the mouldings are okay, but they're they've got lines in them and bits of stuff like that. Now what I do, instead of trying to sand all those out, you end up, when you sand things this small, you tend to get like fuzzy bits all over them, and they look a bit and if you try and paint that, then it looks a bit rubbish. So what I tend to use is some I put glue on them. If it's for a thing that's not got a lot of detail on it, like an exhaust pipe in this particular case doesn't, I melt the surface with glue. I'm hoping it's showing up on camera, and it kind of basically smooths it out. I have given them a rough sand. I'll go all over them with basic glue. Put quite a lot on as well. and I go right round it, and all the seam lines that I can't remove with a blade or sandpaper. It dries pretty quick as well. I'll do them all like that. You can't see the back end of this engine once it's in place. This part disappears. In fact, most of that gets hidden. So these little exhaust stubs do show a little bit. I just call this liquid sandpaper. I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do or not, to be fair. I mean, other people do different things. I'm by no means an expert at this, but that's how I do this now. You can go over it as many times as you like as well. So I don't know if that shows or not. But it just melts the things. There's a seam line there as well. Don't want that one. And we get in there. You can actually mould it. You can actually move it around if you put enough glue on, which isn't necessary in this case. So that's not looking bad. I'm going to prime that though. I think I want to prime it just to see what it looks like with paint on it. So that's that bit, and then we've got the cylinders. Fitting these on afterwards, I don't like doing this. I don't like to fit things onto paint, so it never bonds well. I think the way that this is designed, I think these cylinders will probably just click into place, and you could probably get away with not actually putting any glue on them at all, but I don't know that until I try it. So I've got to decide if I'm going to paint these silver first, not first. I don't know what to do with that. It would have had a bit more interest if I did, so I might just do that anyway. So just getting the right colour into it, making it look right. So yeah, I'll come back when I've decided what I'm doing, but yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is prime that, and I'm going to paint that bit black. In fact, I'll probably paint everything black to start with, so I'll come back in a bit. Just a quick one while I'm doing this, just to show how each cylinder half goes together, which are these bits here. You just they're all the same apart from the two bottom ones because they're a little bit different shape. And again, if you follow the instructions, it makes it quite clear as to which ones they are. So you've got to make up how many cylinders is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those, and then 2 different shaped ones. So basically that's how that works. Okay, now what I've done, that's the basic engine. I've painted it satin black, and I've painted all the exhaust stacks satin black, and I've also painted all the cylinders silver. So what I'm doing now, if you look at the, as I say, I think I might have mentioned it before, if you look at the Airfix kit instructions, it shows this as being like a bronzy colour, which I guess it might have been bronze, I don't know, but it goes very, very dark. It goes pretty much this colour, but with a very, very subtle hint of like a browny rust, but it has got a shine to it because it's basically exposed metal. So what I'm trying to do to emulate that, I've got it off camera, this stuff, I'll do some more, but pencil lead. This is a 6B, I find 6B is quite good for this. You just scratch some pencil lead off there, which is, I suppose, is just graphite. And I mix it with some Tamiya Weather Master, and this is the rust. It's just like a chalky stuff. I just scratched a bit off there actually. I'll mix it in with that. So mix the two substances together and get it on a cotton bud. I'm doing it on the back end first. I'm not convinced this is the same thing. You can't see these very much when they're on the model, but and then you just polish it in there. Just give each one a bit of a do-over with this. I want them to look kind of shiny, or at least I'll put a picture up of what I'm trying to achieve. On this bit, this is more of an experiment really, because as I say, you can't really see these. I don't mind this being this colour. You can use your fingers actually. That's it's quicker with your fingers. Getting all the nooks and crannies is quite hard with your fingers though. Do that, and then get a tissue. This may just wipe it all off. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's taking that stark black look off, and it has made them look a little bit metallic-y. Going to put some more. Let's get a paintbrush now. So that's that bit done. I'm quite happy with that. I'll do it on this more. This will show a lot more on this one. I'm definitely going to use my fingers on this. Now this does show. Just rubbing most of it off at the moment. And what I want to try and do is make them look a bit more browny. Very subtle anyway. I think they'd look alright, just a little bit browny black. I think that's enough to emulate that photograph that I'm using as a reference. Probably still a bit grey, but I could paint them metallic, I suppose. But I'm quite happy with that colour. When you look at it next to the engine itself, there's a bit of a contrast to it. So the next job with that is to, you can't fit, as I've said before on the video, these are all the cylinders. Now what I'm going to do with these, I want to, there is a seam line down the middle of these, which, because it's such a small part, you can't really remove it that easily, it's difficult. So what, I'll probably do this one actually on the model, but I'm just going to show you what I went. Just normal pencil lead. It's a bit stark at the minute. I'm just going to give them a bit of a... Try and bring out a little bit of the detail. Try and look like an engine wood. A bit shiny, and the heads on at the top of these rocker box things don't really look like the ones I've seen pictures of, the real ones anyway, but they look alright. So yeah, I'll do that with all of those. The engine needs to go in there first, so I'm going to do that off camera and I'll come back to you. Okay, I'll just sort of show where the engine glues in. It's like a square block. I'm just going to put some Revel cement in there. Don't have to be too neat so you can't see any of that. The engine only fits one way up, so it goes that way up. That's it. Drop it in there, let that dry. I think it's touching the back. Yeah, so that's in now. So I'll just let that dry, and then we'll try and start fitting the each individual cylinder. Now I'm hoping that they'll just clip on as opposed to gluing on, because they'll be very difficult to glue on. So back in a bit. I'll sort of show these. These are the two cylinders that are different to the other ones. All the other ones are identical, but these two have got little curves at the top of the rocker box covers. I don't know why they're different, but they are. And one curves that way and one curves that way. So you have to put those on in a certain order on the bottom. I don't think it makes that much difference, but they probably won't fit if I do them wrong. So there we are. So each one of these fits onto that little triangular pin. It's curved at the back and triangular shaped at the front, and that's the same on the heads. So in theory, according to the instructions, you just line it up like that and give it a wiggle and it goes on. We shall see. That seems awfully tight to me. Yeah, the engine's still not glued in yet. Gonna have to let that dry more before we continue with that. Okay, I've test fitted a couple of these cylinders. You certainly don't need to glue them on. What I recommend if you do this, when you paint this engine, make sure you clean off as much as the paint as possible off these kind of triangular shaped pegs that the cylinders fit onto, because they're a very tight fit. So I think you have to fit them in a certain order, but I'm not even I've not followed the instructions on that one, but I don't think it matters as long as you can get them on. So you just come over, snap them in place, and if there's too much paint on, they won't snap in place. That first one I didn't clean the paint off enough, and it was a devil of a job to get on. So yeah, they just click in like that. But yeah, I like how you don't have to actually glue them on, which is quite good. See, that one's really tight. Oh, incredibly tight. That's still not in. Oh, crikey. Yeah, be careful with these. That one doesn't want to go at all. Yeah, very, very tight fit indeed. But, they're going on, but I think it might be better to, I don't know, maybe clean these out a bit or something, I don't know. But, probably a better way of doing this. Oh, crikey. Yeah, they certainly won't fall off. I'm going to do the two off camera. Back in a bit. Okay. All the cylinders are in now. They were ridiculously tight, so what I recommend you do if I was going to do this again, I'd drill the two bottom ones out with a 1.6mm drill on the head, on the cylinders, and they fit on a lot easier. So, but again, you don't need to glue them on at all. They certainly won't come off. So that's that bit done. For the next stage there's a plastic colour that goes on the front there, which I forgot to paint. I'm just doing that now. When that's finished, this bit goes on the top of it. And that's basically the engine done. It's quite easy to do. It's quite fun actually. It's a nice little, it's very nicely done from Airfix. I've got to say I'm impressed with that. It could have been better details on the heads I suppose, but look, it's for this scale I think it's perfectly okay. So yeah, I'll be back when I've completely finished it. Okay, this is the collar I was talking about. It's this piece here on the engine. It shows that piece and that piece. It shows gluing that bit on first and then putting that over the top. So what I have noticed, if you put this on first, like so, and then put that piece, it has got a little key in the top, which is just there, which goes there. If you put that too far back, these won't mate up with the top of this, because these little exhaust pipes go into the cylinders, etc. Exhaust underneath. So if you put that too far back on there and then put this on, this won't fit because they get the bind on the top of the cylinders. So I'm thinking it might be better to glue this piece to there first, which is a bit of a gamble, but we'll give that a go. So I'll do that in a minute and we'll be back. Okay, that collar's now glued to the exhaust stacky thing. It only goes one way up. There's two like little output ports. There's one there and there's one there where the exhaust stubs come off that fasten under the wing. So they have to line up there. Now I'm not going to glue this on because there's no need to. It fits quite well. It's a good tight fit, is that? At the moment I'm not sure how the exhausts are going to line up or how well they're going to fit. So I'm happy to just leave it like that. So there we go, that's the engine done. I might tickle it up a bit more, put some more of this concoction on there. Again, you can add it at your leisure with this stuff. So there we go, that's the engine done. Quite happy with that. It's a nice little bit of detail on that. Pretty impressed with that. So the next stage is to fit the wing. I might finish putting the decals on the fuselage actually. But other than that, I need to fit the wing. I've done some enhancements to the lower wing, so that's the next bit to show. And I've already done it actually, but show that later. Next video, wing. And I don't know how much I'm going to get done. I'm trying to get this done in not too many parts really, because it wasn't intended to be a really long build of this, but the wings have kind of set me back a bit because I've decided to put more detail into the wings than I originally decided to do. So I'm also going to add a bit more detail on the top here. The rigging itself looks quite an intense part of the build as well, so I think you can just about do that at the end. Actually, I don't think I need to add anything to it before. So anyway, yeah, we'll start on the wings, get the bottom wing completely finished, and then we'll see how it goes. Probably the undercarriage so I can put it down then. So I might try and get the lower wing done and then the undercarriage and then go from there.